Oh, hey, we're live. Hey, check this out. We are live. I'm trying to get better lights in here. Hi, everybody. Sorry for being late. If you don't see the title Go for No at the very top of the video, please refresh. We are live. I want to appreciate you for being here. And thank you for watching. And this is the Sage Crew Live. And this is a father-daughter duo where we're here to share some mindset and marketing stuff to help you grow and overcome the challenges and win big and in the work at home industry, or rather anywhere, because Pops and I are actually full-time RVers. It'll be a year on May 9th, Dad, a year. And what we like to do is we like to share our information, but with a little twist, and in hopes to actually help you have a breakthrough and become, I don't know, like a network marketing professional. Can I even say it? I don't even know if that's like stealing from Eric Worre, but that's what it is. It's like we want people to have a twist, have breakthroughs, and that's just what we do. So tonight, let me just back up a little bit. So Monday night, actually, what?
I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me? Okay, so let me just go to the comment page. I wanted to make sure everybody, oh, you can. Oh, I can hear myself. I better mute. So Monday night, last night on Monday Mastermind, Dave, Pops, me, and Jamie were talking about Go for No. It was Pops and I that were talking about our Ray Higdon notes that we went over just this past weekend. There was like a room full of other network marketers in many, many different types of businesses, but network marketing as a whole. And so what happened is that this weekend was all about overcome objections and telling our stories better out on the interwebs. And also, thank you, Maria. I'm glad you can hear me. So hi, Maria. And I believe Dave is here. Hello. So it was a room full of 30 people with Ray Higdon. I mean, if you don't know who Ray Higdon is, you'll Google him and he'll pop up. Don't do it now. We want you to stay here. But he made his business on blogging, so that he's the blogging dude, and he grew his business in blogging and also putting out value into the marketplace. And that's why we're here. Pops and I, we love to share this value with you, so in hopes that you will get those breakthroughs. So this is completely free for you to watch. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually see in the description box, there's a comment page, a link for a comment page, so you can come over and say hi. If you are on a smartphone, the comment, it's called a chat wing. It doesn't really work well with smartphones. So if you have anything bigger, right, like a tablet or a computer, that would work actually a lot better, because for some reason the screen doesn't move over on a smartphone and you can't hit enter. You can type, but you can't hit enter. So anyways, glad you're here. That's awesome. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's also another link in there for the book that we're going to talk about is Go for No. You lost me again?
Lost your audio.
Lost my audio?
Now you're back.
Now I'm back. Thanks, Pa. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we're going to go through and talk a little bit more about the Go for No, and that's what we talked about yesterday when we shared our notes. And there's a lot of people, tons of people got a lot of aha moments about that. So in a roundabout way, what that means is that when you're out there talking to people and you're kind of pitching your deal, but not in a spammy way, but kind of see if they're open to either a new venture or something that you have, it's a good idea to go into this place, okay, where you're just going to go for the no. You're just going to flat out, you know what, I'm going to just go for no. That is a huge stepping stone, because a lot of people out there don't even talk to people because they're afraid of the no. So that's actually the challenge we want to go through and challenge you, is go for the no and challenge yourself to do that. Whether it's 5 no's a day, 10 no's a day, you can even do 100 no's a day. But the point is get that no, because we don't want you to be the industry's best kept secret. So sit tight. We're going to dive into this information. Grab your notes, get in the comments, and let us know what your thoughts are throughout this. If you have something you want to share, we want to give you a shout out and maybe read your comments and just kind of have this really cool discussion. Okay, so with that, Pops, you're going to kind of lead the way. We're going to have this conversation, have a lot of fun, and talk about the importance of the word no. It's going to be awesome. All right, Pops, go right ahead.
All righty, thanks, Katie. Hi, Dave. I see you just popped in. And Maria, good to see you guys. Appreciate you a lot. Great deal. So basically, this is kind of my take on the book of Go for No for network marketing. And again, Ray Higdon, the original book was put out in the 90s, I believe, by Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. And they were both trainers, high-paid, successful trainers for LensCrafters. Make no mistake that LensCrafters is a huge corporation. And they were making huge amounts of money. They had cars to travel in. And they were traveled all over the place training LensCrafter people. And they decided at some point that they had it with the corporate and the training and all that stuff, and they wanted to get out and do their own thing. So they created a school, if you will, and they were going to become on their own training individuals in the entrepreneurial space. And so they were successful for a while, and then they too, like everyone else, some of us start out and get like rejections all the time right away anyway, but they had some success, and then they started getting rejections, and they were trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And so they looked into it, and they realized, and other people have since said it, and possibly before that, that if you go for the no, you're going to get the yeses anyway, because they are tied together. They're like the opposite side of the coin, the heads and tails, and the yin and yang. Without the one, you're not going to get the other. So you're going to get both regardless. So in their theory, if you get the more no's you get right away, you'll start seeing more success. And a lot of people, according to the book, and even Ray Higdon, who with this particular book has his take on some of the stuff. They reworded some of the stuff that Ray Higdon is included in this book. And that's what people are getting results by going for the no. But there's more to just going out there and say, oh, cool, I got another no. Because it's how you posture yourself while you're trying to get that no. You really need to posture yourself and not care about the no. But we are trained, especially in the Western world, that no is a negative thing. And it has been ingrained in us to be a negative thing since we were kids. So our subconscious, which I've talked a lot about in the past through all our association, actually with the folks that are here now and others that if you're watching, the subconscious is a very strong entity that we have, and it controls a lot of what we do, what we think, and how we act, whether we know it or not. About 40% of it, I think, is something in that neighborhood, depending on who you're talking to, is possibly the real us, and the rest, original conscious mind. The rest is subconscious, like just brushing your teeth, pouring a cup of coffee, whatever you do in routine is on autopilot, basically. So if you are getting a no, and you all of a sudden your posture changes, or if you're anticipating a no, your posture is going to change, and your prospect, even without saying no yet, may sense something is not quite right with what you're saying, and may not recognize it for what it is, and that would be the fear of no or the anticipation of no. It may be just something that they sense, and they will possibly backpedal because of that, and then you won't be able to move them, particularly if you are continuing in that posture. Then they're going to be freaked out over it. But if you can decide that a no is good, a no is okay, there's several reasons for that, and I'm going to go through a few of them. And first of all, you could get a yes because your posture is kind of a cavalier. I don't care whether you say yes or no. I have something of value to share with you. If you say no, kind of shame on you. If you say yes, hooray for all of us, right? And your posture needs to be on that level plane so they don't sense something is off. and when they can then listen to you more clearly as you're talking about the benefits of what offer you have for them. And many times, if you like hold back, that rejection fear will, again, they'll sense all that.
Nice.
And Katie, you have something. Let me.
Yeah, being that we are in the same room, huh? You can't hear me?
Try your plug.
Oh, can you hear me now?
No. There it is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having issues. Shumaila, if you're watching this, I'm having issues with these too. I wanted to explain a little bit about what posture is, because Dave was asking that in the comments, and I think that's a really good question. So posture in this industry means how are you going to, it's how you present yourself, how you not react. Actually, what it is how you present yourself in a certain situation where if somebody asks you a question, well, how much money do you make? It's all key about the posture that you make. If I could just take a second, Pops, and do an example, because we did these objections in the Ray Higdon group last weekend, and we got into a group and we all shared one of our most objections that we hear, and just kind of go around and see what everybody else's posture is and what could be the best answer. So one of the examples would be, okay, this is not for me. Say if someone says this is not for me, what you can reply is you say, that's okay, because, you know, do you know anyone who could benefit from this? Then follow up with an ask for a referral. So do you know anybody who would benefit from this? And sometimes people are like, oh, sure, I could probably refer you to a couple of people. And it actually has happened before, which is awesome. So that's having posture. As an opposite, here's something how I would lose my cool. If someone would say, the one that I was thinking about is when somebody adds me into a Facebook group without my permission. I used to raise hell, yell at them, and like, do you know how bad that is for your business if you don't ask permission first? You're going to get a lot of people pissed off at you. You're going to get blocked and all this other stuff. But then I changed my posture by actually talking to them. Now, this is pretty cool. Listen up. You go to them and say, hey, you know, I just saw you just added me into a group and you just titled a group. Hey, I was just wondering, do you own that group? And whether to say yes or no, you could say, oh, okay, actually, is that your preferred way of marketing? Because I do this and this and this, and maybe I can send you some training so you don't have to just add people without permission. Because in my experience, when I did that, I usually get blocked, and then I didn't know any better, which, you know, and you can kind of do it that way where you're not all pissed off. So there's people who actually got into my program because I said it like that, which was really awesome. So that's the difference between posture. It's like you're doing it with, you're cool, right? You're cool. So yeah, Dave, you're set up straight. You know, when you drink your tea, you got to have a pinky up. No, that's not posture. But what that is that you're acting like someone that has utmost respect and love and understanding for the other person, saying, hey, you know what? I understand that maybe you weren't taught the right way. Here's what, you know, I was there too. Here's what I learned, or this is who I'm working with to learn it this way. Okay, that's posture. I mean, that's freaking awesome. So Pops, if you want to continue with that was good, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, that was awesome, Katie. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's spot on too. And well, again, the no and the yes is a yin and yang thing. They will go together, and you will get one or the other, and it doesn't matter. You know, what you want, really, the end goal is to get an answer so you can move on to the next person. Because it's all about people, but it's still a numbers game. It's still a law of averages. However it may work out, some of the people you're going to attract and speak with aren't just, they have some valid reason for not being able to join for whatever, and that'll be a no. So all the no's, they go along right with the yeses, and it will compound the time, shorten the time that would take for you to start to see success if you go for a lot of the no's as well as, you know, and just hope for the best. So you be prepared for the worst as you're hoping for the best. Because even getting a yes sometimes might, who knows what you might end up with too. So, you know, you just don't know. You don't know what you're going to end up with. Sometimes I've heard of some scary people having somebody on their team and they had to get rid of them because they were so negative. But that wasn't evident to begin with. But they would start throwing negativity stuff in the group, and the group was getting frustrated with it that they had to get rid of the person. So just because you have a yes, it's not really necessarily a cause for celebration until you get to know the person much better. So there are pitfalls and possibilities and also awesomeness on both sides of that coin as well. And if you remember or know of Jack Canfield as an example for the no, he partnered up with a guy by the name of Mark Victor Hansen, and this was back in the 90s. And they had an idea of putting a book together, giving examples of people who just regular, ordinary, on the street people having breakthroughs, changes in their life, profound changes in their life. And they were putting it in books, and it was called Chicken Soup for the Soul. And they have many, many books out since then, like 400,000 or 4 million all over the world in different languages, whatever the number is. But when they were trying to take this book around to different publishers to get it published, they got no after no after no after no after no. Not one publisher was willing to take the risk to publish that book for them. And that would mean giving those guys an advance and, you know, all the stuff that goes along with the publisher type thing. Well, finally, Jack Canfield was sitting in somebody's office, one of his mentors, and I don't recall the name of the person at this point. I heard it before. Anyway, the guy said, well, you guys will come up with something, whatever it is, you know, just you're persistent enough and you're wanting to get it done, you'll come up with somehow, right? Well, then about a day or so later, Jack Canfield and Mark got together and they decided, well, hell, we'll just publish it ourselves. We'll self-publish this thing. So they went ahead and did that, and now the company is called Chicken Soup for the Soul Publishing, LLC, and they not only publish all their Chicken Soup for the Soul, but they publish all their own books, plus others as well. So, you know, the people that were unwilling to take the risk and all said no, 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 are now turned around and going, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Because that's all the amount that came out of that Chicken Soup for the Soul is amazing. And then, of course, Jack Canfield came on to be a superstar in the motivational and the self-help space for network marketers and entrepreneurs. And it's just an example. And there's another thing, too, that I mentioned actually last night when we were on another hangout about risk. You know, if a person decides not to take a risk, that is probably the biggest risk of all. You're a huge risk taker if you don't choose to take a risk on something. And we've all taken risk. You take a risk on dating someone, you take a risk for, well, as an example, I won't run down a bunch of them, you get the idea. So you're already taking risks every day of your life. And why not take more risks by getting a hold of people and find out what they're all about, see if they're going to give you yes or no. And again, the no has benefits aside from getting you closer to the yeses. It also is a benefit of teaching you a life lesson that you can never get in school. Any psychology or whatever psych course there is, you pay thousands and thousands of dollars to be a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever psyche thingy you want to be. And not to mention the time it takes to get there to understand all this stuff. If you were talking to people one-on-one and they're giving you reasons / excuses why they can't join you, and you keep talking with them, though, you know, you don't get discouraged. You keep talking a little bit. You could possibly ask what would it look like? What do you think it would look like if you could do this, though? And get them thinking about what would it look like if you could do that? I'm just curious for, you know, what your take on it is. And they may start exploring it and talking to you about it. But the more they talk about, well, even their no, the more diminished it becomes, because the first reaction, no, means not necessarily no. It could mean not right now. There's some kind of emotion attached to that no. And if you can find out what what emotion is attached to it, or set of emotions, you're learning huge about people and about yourself, because we are all built pretty much the same. We all have the same desires. We want cars. We want all this when we're kids, you know, all the toys. Everybody's got the same stuff. You know, we all have the same stuff, just maybe a different brand, but we're all alike. We all want the love. We all want our kids to grow up and be great people. I want one of my kids to be a doctor so I don't have to pay for a doctor, but that ain't going to happen now. But it's a good thing I got insurance. But anyway, you can see my point. And the whole point of this book is going for the no is going to give you more opportunities to get the yeses. And compiling them all together, it just means huge for the people you're going to meet, the people you're going to know. And always, always, always be sure, if when you're walking away from one of your prospects or about ready to hang up, if you're on a phone with them. And by the way, face-to-face is the best way ultimately to get somebody in your business with you. Rarely does anyone just join out of the blue. You know, they may, depending on what you can provide for a hook or a bait or however you want to, whatever the new cliche is for that. But always ask them, do you know anyone? Do you have a friend or family member who you think may be interested in something like this, or who may benefit? Better to use benefit. Who may benefit from this? And they're gonna start running stuff through their head, and likely as not, they may think, well, you know, if I tell this guy or that guy, I tell my brother-in-law, and he starts making it big, and I'm going to look like an idiot because I didn't sign up. Maybe I should sign up. If I tell my mother-in-law, I'll think I'm a real idiot if my brother-in-law is making it and I didn't do it. Oh, boy. So there's also that. Other people, and I know you big people in the industry, has said that is actually happened. They would refer somebody, and then that person would get in, and the other one is, uh-oh. And two, they would decide that I'd rather try it myself rather than hand it off. And then they go and recruit the other person, the brother-in-law or whomever. And like Dave said, the risk factor is huge. Yep. Still going on making that video. Yeah.
There we go, Pop.
Okay, got something, Kate?
Yeah. Okay, so that's, Dave says that he really likes that risk factor that you talked about, Pops, because he's going to go do a video about it. Oh. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Weird. I'm going to have to get like new headphones or something. Apologize. So Dave says he's going to go, he likes the risk factor thing, so he's going to go make a new video about it. So it's good. We had a lot of golden nuggets yesterday, and we just want to share a little bit more today. So some of the postures that that really make a difference is you come in with the attitude that that you don't need that person to build your legacy. You're going to do that with or without them, and you can actually literally say that. You're like, you know what, this may or may not be for you. I totally understand if it's you know, if it's something that's not, if it's not going to fit in your type of fit in your, what am I'm stumbling over here. Anyways, you're saying that I'm gonna build this with or without you. I would love to have you with, but I'm gonna do it with or without you. I would love to have you on. I mean, I think this would be so great. So that's huge. Now I wanted to go over some of these responses, and because I think this is super important, because what happens is that when you start going for those no's, you're gonna find out that these objections will show up, but they're you know, it's just certain objections that you can actually go around and could turn into a yes when it was a no first, but it could turn into a yes. And it's actually really nice because you get the response like, well, how much money do you make? And then one of the brick wall responses where you just hit them in the just brick wall responses is that, well, it's illegal to show you. I can't physically show you checks because it's actually against the law, which is true. You can't be doing that. You can't say, I'm not going to tell you because it would limit your potential. Now, I used to say that in the past because Pops actually brought that up a few years ago, and I thought it was brilliant because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to limit anybody's potential here. That's actually a brick wall response. So instead, here's a better way to say it. Like, well, how much money do you want to make, right? That's a better way of saying it, but here's the best way of saying it. If you're making just a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 a week, you can literally say, hey, I'm making $100, a few $100, or, you know, if it's true, a few $1,000 per week, but I am doing this part-time. So you're setting it, the expectation up correctly that you're doing it part-time, and you talk to people every single day, and because I take this seriously. So you're pre-framing them right away that you talk to people, you only do it part-time, you don't have to stop what you're doing because I take it seriously. If you're not making any money whatsoever, here is, I love how Ray Higdon says that. He's like, you know, I'm just going to give you this answer and I'm going to give you this other answer if you're not making money, because, you know, a lot of people come into this industry and they're not making money right away. It just happens. So here's the answer. If you're not making money, just say, hey, I'm just starting out, but working with someone who is doing a couple of $1,000 a week or something. Or you can say if you're seasonal and you're still not making money, or if you are in something that's brand new and you've made money in the past, but this is something completely brand new, you don't say, hey, I've made $1 million in this company, and then you say you're still $1 million in a new venture. You can't say that. So what you say if you're seasonal is, you know, and not making money, what you say, I'm starting something new and I'm working with this other person. So it's really a really cool postured response to say, well, one of my favorites that Ray Higdon says, well, I don't know. I don't know how much I'm making because I'm still getting income in from something I did 2 years ago. Huge. I mean, if that's true, use it. Huge. That's true for me, so I can actually say that, which is awesome because I've been blogging since 2013, and people are coming in from a couple of years ago, say catching up with me or something, and then they find my website and they're like, oh, let's catch up, and you know, it's really awesome. Say if you have someone who comes, here's another objection I wanted to say is, I can't pay my bills if I join. If they say, literally tell you, I can't pay my bills, you deny them. Okay, you go ahead and deny them because they're going to be in that, they're setting up the blame game. Because if they don't see a return quickly, then they may blame you. They're going to blame the company. They're just not going to be in the right mindset because they can't pay their bills. They actually took their bill utility money instead of paying their bills. They joined your venture, and that's not good. So don't do that. You can certainly say no to them, which is awesome. Because this is what's so cool about this industry is you can pick and choose who you work with. Here's another objection is maybe this isn't the time to sign up yet. And here's a posture response. You say, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. But here's what we're doing now and where you could be going. And you can talk about what your vision is. Because if you don't have a vision, you can't move people, honestly. Because how are they going to join your venture or in your group or whatever if you don't have some sort of benefit that they can use to take themselves to the next level, right? So those are really good posture response, but you're not going to get those kind of conversations if you don't go for the no's, honestly. And what's really cool about objections is that objections are actually what they can turn into is once you experience an objection, you can actually solve a problem with an objection. So objections are really solid information where you can sharpen your target market more. You can tweak your marketing in a way where you can speak to that objection to wipe that objection out right away so they don't have that objection when they talk to you. So that's huge. So it's really good market. Let's just call this Go for No a really good market research, because then you can go out there and you can find out what kind of objections there are and overcome them with posture, and be okay with it. Be okay with it. So I think that's awesome. All right, Pops, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I love what Dave just said. I push people away before I get a commitment. It makes people think twice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to take it away from them a little bit. The fear of rejection, the fear of not getting it, is huge. And when you're talking to people, like Katie said, about if they're saying, well, I don't know if I can afford it right now, or I have this or that, there really is nothing wrong with saying, well, if you could afford it, would you? And if they go, yeah, I probably would, say, well, is there anything that you could sell? Do you have anything laying around that you could just sell? I mean, because they may not be thinking about this correctly, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you might shake them loose and they'll be so grateful that you did, because they might turn into superstars, and their family could be, all of them could be going to college. Yale, yay! So there's nothing wrong with throwing suggestions out for people to shake them loose, to, especially in the affordability space. If it just costs a couple $100 to get the first packet, or if it's an MLM or whatever it is you're doing, that's huge. It's very huge to shake them loose. Now you notice I put in the comment NICE, in capital NICE.
Acronym.
It's an acronym for, I just put it in, nothing inside me cares enough. In other words, nothing inside me cares enough for me to bring you with me. Is that how are you really being nice if you don't try to get that no? Nothing inside me cares enough where I would ask you for your no. And I'll even give you the opportunity to say yes. We have a huge opportunity for people, and we saw it. All we need to do is show it to other people. And if they can't see it, or if we can't help them see it, well, so be it. But at least we were caring enough to give them the opportunity to do what we're doing, and then join with us so we can all grow together. And you know what? We really are and can change the world. The more people we have in the network marketing space that are making some decent money, it benefits everyone. They become more positive too. They become better parents. They become better spouses because of the mind shift that this internet business creates and changes people's mindsets and how we interact with each other. It's amazing. If we were all grouped with Ray Hayden, and there was 40 of us about somewhere in her neighborhood, really a relaxed environment, and it was awesome. Everybody was friendly and everybody was up. I mean, there was people that have had issues and talked a little bit about them, but everybody was able to, give them their whatever due diligence for, we understand, because we had to go through exercises, which would in our story. So people have a tendency to use their perceived negative events in their life to try to show people that they don't have that even though this was happened, I am doing this. Well, we talked last night about that's not the right approach. Anyway, Ray said, no. Don't be specific and don't be centristic and don't be unique. Be as general as you can. They'll relate to that and the benefits, not money. They can't wrap their head a lot around money, but they can wrap their head around benefits, doing part-time stuff, having more stuff around the house in a better vehicle, whatever, better stuff for the kids. But thinking about the acronym NICE is nothing inside me cares enough to show this to people who could greatly benefit for what we have and what we're benefiting from. It would just be a crime not to do that, actually. That would be really a crime. It'd be a shame. So keep that in mind, please, when you're hesitating to make that video or hesitating to make a call or connect with somebody on Facebook. Remember that nice, you know, how nice are you, right? How nice are we going to be? Oh, that'll overcome the fears. And I understand the fears. I'm not trying to bash anybody here. Fear is a real thing. It really affects people greatly, but they can all be overcome too. Many people have overcome them fears, and people that are making a shitload of money right now have a big team. They had to come over and get over their fears. A lot of them came from the streets, and look where they're at now. You could go back and look at their stories. I was talking about Jack Canfield. He's on his third wife. He has kids from 2 first marriages. He wasn't a total success all his life. He had failures. He had crap going on in his life, but he still made a success of himself. So we can do that too, just by getting over them fears and believing. It's more about believing, and Jack Canfield says that too. And I really like the guy, so I keep referring to him because I was talking to him, not to him, about him. But there was an incident where somebody was, I think it was the Sedona method.
Hale.
Yeah, Hale Dworskin. Thank you. Hale Dworskin was saying to Jack about some people that just seemed like they weren't getting it. You know, how can they not get it? And Jack said it's because they don't believe. It's as simple as that. They don't believe. So just believe. Believe you can do it. Believe in what you have in your hands to share, and go for the no's. Learn from the no's and get them out of the way. And no doesn't necessarily mean no. It could be no, not right now. It could be no, I got to do some other things first. Maybe I'll come back. But if you dig a little deeper, you might be able to come up and find out what they're really talking about. So with that, it's almost 1:45. Katie, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay. All right, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so by the way, guys, get this book here. You'll see this on the comment page that you're on here. It's on the side. You go to Amazon. Grab this book if you want to learn how to overcome this word no, and learn a little bit about posture and a proven strategy for failing your way to success in network marketing, which is huge. So I want to say hi to Ricky also. Speaking of Ricky, below the little banner that has this, there is a little banner that says what's up next. Right at the top of the hour is the Rocket Ricky Show. So you can hop on over there. We'll see you when we get over there. That being said, I want you to get this book, so go ahead and get it on Amazon. I don't even remember how much it is. It's like, I don't know, like, what was it, like $10 or something? I have no idea. Don't quote me on it. Maybe even, it's worth it, no matter what it is. It's not going to be like $1 million. Another thing, another call to action. If you're on YouTube, we got the link in the description. If you're on YouTube, go to the link in the comment page and come say hi. But another thing we want to tell you is what we do on a regular basis. If you want to go a little bit further, here's what I want you to do next. After you're done reading this book and you still want to have some help, I want you to reach out to me or Pops, and let's take this a step further and help you out. Maybe we have to look inside the conversations. You can come in and join us in our workshop group, which is every Saturday, where we can just help you out and help you grow, help you overcome these objections, and get you on the right track to attracting the right people to you. How wouldn't it be awesome, instead of you going out and searching people out and getting rejected, wouldn't it be cool if people come to you and you reject them, but then turn it around and get them in your deal? You know, there's a way to do that, but just to learn posture, just to get out there and learn those objections, and you know, become a better marketer and become a professional and really grow into something amazing and build that legacy. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the show. Pops, do you have any last words, or do you want me to just close it out? I think you're typing. Okay, he's just closing out. He's going to say bye in the comments, and go ahead and go over Ricky's hang out there, and we'll see you when you get over there. Thank you, everybody, and we'll See you later. Bye for now. We're still live?
See y'all.
We're still live? You got that button, Dad?
I'm working on it.